Kingston Wharves is currently in their 81st year of operations. And today we are here with their current CEO, Mr. Mark Williams, to talk a bit, not just about the company, but also about who he is, to find out more about the man behind the title of CEO. Additionally, I'd like you to know that I am Renee McDonald, the CEO and Investor Relations Lead at Learn, Grow, Invest. So please do join me in welcoming Mr. Mark Williams.
Oh, Renee, thank you so much. Good to be here.
Thank you for saying yes. It is a pleasure to have you and to be able to speak with you in this setting.
Certainly.
So, as I promised our people,
Right.
who is Mark Williams? What has your journey to Kingston Wharves been like?
Well, it has been one that has been very rewarding. Mark Williams, I'm a husband. I'd love to start there. My dear wife, I've been married for 32 years.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you. I have two beautiful daughters and two adorable granddaughters.
Oh.
So let me start there. My journey to Kingston Wharves. I started life out being a scientist. I worked with Shell Company for almost a decade.
We have something in common there.
Is that so?
I started in oil and gas as well.
Well, there you go. So I started at Shell, did my training in management at Shell. I worked in the Caribbean. I lived in Barbados, covered the Caribbean for Shell, came home, run Shell LPG business for approximately 10 years. Then I went to the airport authority. At the time, the government wanted someone with commercial skills and international experience to privatize the airport. That was the journey on its own. And then I was headhunted to work with Kingston Wharves. I've been at Kingston Wharves for 15 years.
Yes, nice.
6 of those I've been CEO. Started as Chief Marketing and Planning Officer, then Chief Operating Officer, and then, this very rewarding role as the Chief Executive Officer.
Wow, that is an awesome journey. And I'm so glad that you shared it in that way, because I do understand the transition from different industries, not just different roles, but different industries, and to get to somewhere that you probably didn't plan on.
Right, not at all.
Right. So thank you for sharing that. And as I said, there's that common ground, because I did 10 years in oil and gas.
Okay, which company?
Petrojam.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, good.
So I started in the lab, and I was there for 6 years, and eventually moved out of the lab into projects, and then went to finance.
Okay.
That's a whole other story.
Yeah, indeed.
Yes. But in that journey, what would you share with persons who are uncertain about what their future looks like in terms of career, and they're looking for what is next or what to do, or may just be feeling a little unsure of themselves?
Sure. We all have been through a period where we're not sure where we want to go in our career. I'd say to people going to university, my lecturer said it to me many, many years ago. A degree suggests that you are trainable. So, I think I was naturally good at the sciences. Didn't want to be a doctor, so I ended up doing chemistry. I did chemistry, I did a bit of physics. I moved into management while I was at Shell Company, and then it was natural for you to develop other competencies.
Right.
And therefore I did training, I did an MBA, I did a law degree.
Wow.
Et cetera, et cetera. So, follow your passion, but develop yourself. Don't be completely focused in one area. When there are opportunities, ensure that you're ready for those opportunities. Don't wait until you want to be a manager to go and do an MBA.
Yes.
Get it done. Don't wait until you're being considered for promotion to understand finance.
Yes.
Every business leader needs to understand finance. So follow your passion, prepare for opportunities, don't just wait, and make things happen.
Thank you so much for that. That really underscores something that we share in our community all the time. Expand the ability, expand your capacity, prepare ahead, and then expect the increase. Don't wait for the increase first, right?
There you go.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so let's talk a little bit now about Kingston Wharves, right? I would like you to first explain to us, what is Kingston Wharves? What's the breakdown of the
Right.
company? We know you're listed,
Sure.
but what does the company entail?
Right. So the KW Group,
Mhm.
we have 8 companies within the KW Group.
Right.
What people are familiar with is our business on the terminal. So KW Group is broadly divided in 2 main business lines. Our terminal business, which is your standard receiving of vessels, stevedoring, unloading, offloading vessels. And then our logistics business, which involves 3PL logistics. We have a security company, all things non-terminal. Our terminal business, we move containers, move motor cars, which is a big part of our business.
Right.
In excess of 180,000 moves in motor car. We transship cars to over 45 destinations across the world, Australia, New Zealand. From here, this local company, Kingston Wharves.
Right.
That's our terminal business. Our logistics business, we're into warehousing, where we do third-party logistics. We have pharmaceutical, we have a cold storage facility, we move oil, Amazon type, so that your viewers can understand.
Yes.
That's the 2 broad areas of our businesses.
Right. So you mentioned the vehicles, right? I know
Yeah.
that one is very relatable
Yeah.
to a lot of persons, especially because we're seeing so many different types of vehicles on the roads now,
Right.
right? So many different types being marketed. And so it is safe to say that most of those, if not all of them, are coming through Kingston Wharves.
95% conservatively of all vehicles that you see in Jamaica
Yeah.
would come through Kingston Wharves.
Right.
But I need your viewers to understand that 70-80% of the vehicles that we move don't stay in Kingston, don't stay in Jamaica. As I said, 45 different countries around the world. But what you see in the conservatively, 95% would come through KW.
Understood. And therefore, that would contribute to the increases that we would have seen in your revenue lines.
Definitely.
Yes. So I'll give you an opportunity to share with the audience a little bit about your performance last year, because your audited numbers are out for 2025.
Yes. KW, to the credit of our employees, our customers, our stakeholders, did remarkably well in 2025. It's just my distinct pleasure to be at the helm at this time. We deliver revenue of over $2 billion compared to 2024, $12.6 billion in revenue. And that is not just at the top line. We managed the business in such a way that we were able to deliver net profit of $3.6 billion.
I saw
in
that.
a tough industry.
Yes.
As I said, it's just a credit to the commitment and dedication and professionalism of the 900 plus employees that work within the group. Our customers very committed. We have customers literally for 8 years of our existence.
Wow.
And stakeholders that we do business with. So I'm very, very pleased about the results.
And congratulations on that.
Thank you.
I indeed saw it. And when we look at the financials, naturally, what we're looking at is net profit, right? Or revenue is great, increased revenue. But when you have increased revenue and increased net profit, that's
doing something right.
Right. Yes, that means expenses are also being managed. And that is a sign of great management. So congratulations to you and your team.
Thank you on behalf of the team.
So with that, in the mix for 2025, of course, there was Hurricane Melissa.
Right.
And that naturally would have had an impact on the operations here. You're the wharf after all. So what was the impact on the business itself? There may have been some positive and some negative. Can you share those with us, or some of that with us?
Well, the way I view, you have to deal the hand that you've been dealt. Jamaica suffered a really significant natural disaster. That translates for us in some congestion on the terminal. It was the time of the year that you would naturally have an inflow of additional cargo because it was getting into Christmas. And then the Spore International organization responded tremendously to Jamaica. And that created a perfect storm. So we had so much cargo coming in. We have finite space. You know, when you think about Kingston Wharves as a warehouse provider, we have more warehouse space than all the other warehouses combined.
Right.
And we were congested. It created some issues because people were just not moving the cargo quickly for whatever reason. They didn't have the money, they didn't have their homes were destroyed, etc. So that's on the warehouse business. On the terminal where we moved commercial cargo, while we were congested, we were able to manage that more effectively. A commercial entity would want to get their cargo off, so they would move quicker. What we did, we had extended gate hours. We opened on the weekends for the warehouse. We brought in additional staff. I mentioned earlier that we have in excess of 900 staff. We brought in additional staff, 150 additional staff just to get the facility to move cargo. We have a mantra of Kingston Wharves where we said, we keep cargo moving. And we did that. And was it perfect? No, it wasn't.
Right.
Because we're not the sole actor in this. We have other stakeholders who are involved in this ecosystem of clearing cargo.
Yes.
But I think we've done reasonably well. Much of the backlog has been cleared. Great. And we're moving on.
Okay, thank you for that. And we thank your teams for that effort, because we know not because we're in Kingston means that it's lost on us what has happened to the West. We have visited, we have gone down, we've seen it.
Yes,
we have been in contact with persons who have been living it.
Right.
And it's quite devastating on that side.
Yes.
For a lot of people personally and, communally as well.
Right.
So we thank you for the efforts, and
Thank
we
you.
appreciate. Just over the weekend, actually, there were three large containers on the property that I visited, because they are still doing relief efforts through, from there. So we thank you, and I'm happy to hear that it is mostly cleared at this point.
Sure.
So just on the tail of that, you would have mentioned at your AGM last year and planned expansion in the West.
Right.
So naturally, that would have also been impacted.
Yes.
How has that been impacted, and what can we expect?
Certainly, there has been some delays. We do intend on building out in the West. The business model has changed.
Yeah.
Initially, we were planning to construct a much larger warehouse. Now we're going to be renting a facility that is going to be constructed by someone else. But we do have plans to be in the West. Okay. That has been delayed, but we'll get there.
So that is more the warehousing side, not the terminal side.
So
terminal side.
The terminal, thank you for that. So last year we would have announced a strategic investment in Cargo Handlers Limited.
Right.
Very strategic. We took a 27% stake in Cargo Handlers.
Yes.
And you'd have seen in the numbers that paid dividend already.
Yes.
But the focus is we do have an upside that has been communicated to the market, that within 2 years we can upside that from 27 to 40%.
Right.
And we have that opportunity, and we're looking at that. And come to my AGM, you'll hear more.
I will do my best to be there, sir. Last year at the AGM, you would have shared about the operations and it being tenanted, and that already making an impact. But there's a phase two, right? Yeah. Okay. So how is phase two going, and what is that update for us?
Right. So Ashanana Road is fully tenanted. It is the best-in-class cold storage facility in the Caribbean. And that is going well. In fact, it has been going so well that we're doing, phase 1B. We're doing some expansion to the cold room.
Wow.
Actually. And we have as a key business partner, client, PriceSmart. And they're doing their, baking and distribution hub from there. Nice. We continue to have conversation with them in particular, and other business partner about phase 2. Once we have everybody signing on the dotted line, then we'll start construction.
And then also with with all of the expansion and the updates that you have provided, there's an impact or on the special economic zone.
Right.
So can you speak specifically to that?
Right. So KW has we are in a good position that we are a developer, and then we're also an occupier. To be granted a developer status, you have to show the government that, one, you're investing and investing big dollars based on what we do, and providing employment.
Right.
And we have done that. We have seen our SEZ business growing and growing well. The fact is, we need more warehousing solutions for us to continue to grow that business. We have demand right now that we can't satisfy because our existing warehousing facility, we are relocating them off the terminal because we're expanding our terminal facility.
Yes.
And then the next stress move is to ensure that we get the warehousing solutions ready. And I must tell you that we have been having conversation with the regulators about Kingston.
Oh, yes. I recall
Now,
that.
Kingston is a very strategic asset for the port, given its strategic location next to the port. A port that is growing as Kingston Wharves is, and along with KFTL, we require what we call backlands to do logistics activities.
Right.
So we're having conversation with the government. We're hopeful that we'll be able to get more of the lands at Kingston, that we can build out a full infrastructure of terminal and warehousing solutions that will bring more jobs.
Yeah. Okay. Amazing. Thank you for that. And in case there's anyone who is unclear about what the SEZ is, can you explain that in very layman terms for them?
Okay, so it's a special economic zone, so it's a specialized area. Back in the day, we used to call it a free zone. So within this special economic zone, there are some rules around how you operate. The upside for companies is that rather than you're paying 25% income tax, it's 12.5%. The counter to that is, as I said before, you have to put your money where your mouth is, so to speak. So for the government to be assured that they're not losing revenue, but you're in fact making the pie larger, there are critical regulatory requirements about adding jobs.
Right.
And then within the special economic zone now, in layman's term, it's not in Jamaica. It's a non-territorial zone. So we're within that area. You could be in Panama, could be in the DOMREP. It's non-territorial. And therefore it allows the investor, the employer, the company to operate in a specialized area. If your product goes to the domestic market, then you pay the 25%. If you export it, then you have the 12.5%. So it's an area that allows for, measurable economic growth, not just 1% and 2%.
Right.
But big economic upside, bring jobs, bring more revenue for the government, etc.
Right. So it's a great opportunity for companies who are seeking to export.
Yes.
Right. Thank you. Now, ESG is near and dear to my heart. It's something that I care deeply about. And
as the scientist in you,
right?
Yes.
Okay, you get it. And so when you would have gone through it at the AGM last year, I was like, yes, I like to hear that.
Okay.
So what would you consider is your greatest ESG, and that for the audience is environment, social, and governance.
Right.
What do you see as the greatest achievement in that area for Kingston Wharves?
We feel that the community in which we operate, we need to give back to that community.
Yes.
And it's very important that we be good corporate citizens. And therefore, we support some real good social outreach. Missionaries of the Poor, Father Holong, we would give $2.5 million to Father Holong, who's doing an exceptionally good job reaching the less fortunate in our society. Part of our social outreach also, we feel that, when we say the youth is our future. We believe that, and therefore we give back to educational institution, and we believe that sports is a really good avenue to channel just good human development, and therefore we focus a lot on cricket. KW has been the longest sponsor of cricket in the Caribbean.
Wow.
So we sponsored Jamaica under 15, used to be under 19, and the largest portion of our social budget goes towards youth development through cricket.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we have a basic school within the area, Union Gardens, that we support. So we're very focused on educational development and social outreach. So that's social. You asked me one, but I'll give you a few. Environmental, just out of enlightened self-interest. We operate in a port.
Yes.
We must be
Yes.
the guardian of, our environment. I have a very committed team that will go around the neighborhood twice a year and do cleanup. So we do, the big environmental cleanup, but then we're cleaning our backyard. I'll let your audience know first. Our signatory social outreach will be dovetailed for this year between social and environmental.
Okay.
When you come to Kingston Wharves, you notice there are a lot of, food establishments. Let me put it that way along the roadside.
Yes.
We're creating a food park.
Nice.
Going to have running water. I mean, as basic as it is, it doesn't exist now.
Right.
Sanitary conveniences. Just a place that, when we finish this conversation, we say, let's go for a drink.
Yes.
And, coffee clearly. And it's a clean environment, well invested, clean, somewhere that we can be proud of.
Yes.
And that will be coming in maybe another 3 months.
Wow.
We're going through.
I love that. Congrats.
Finally, governance, as a public listed company, it's very important that, certainly for our shareholders, that we have strong governance around how we operate. And therefore, that's also very important. But you did ask for one, so let me stop.
Well, he gave me one, at least one for each. That's fine. The floor is yours. It's your time. So I love that. And that initiative around the food is a major thing. That's thinking outside of the box, but also being very practical for the needs of the surroundings. And of course, on the social side, investing in our youth, how can we not?
There you go.
Yeah, that's another thing for another time for me. But when we talk about children, like just this morning, I'm watching my son, I'm sending him off to school, and I got emotional, and I'm saying, what's wrong with you? Why are you getting emotional?
Listen, you enjoy this time because, I tell you, I'm a grandfather. The kids grow so quickly.
Yeah.
So you need to enjoy.
Yeah. And I think just watching them, seeing them grow, whether they're your children, as in under your care or otherwise, it's significant for a nation as a whole.
Of course.
Our children need attention. Yeah. And we can't leave it to chance that they'll get what they need.
Agree.
So there were a few other works in progress that you'd have mentioned last year that I'd love to hear the updates on. The multi-level car park. Let's talk about that for a little bit.
That has been a difficult one. So we had made announcement that we were constructing this multi-level car park, $15 million. So we're value engineering it, and we're fully committed.
Yes.
We have to do it based on the volume growth in our motor vehicle business.
Yes.
We will have to do it in stages. We wanted to do 5 levels. Now we're going to do ground plus 2.
Right.
Just to get it going. But we're still fully committed to having a multi-level car park because our business is expanding.
Yes. Yes. And it's absolutely necessary.
It is.
I think too, as we talk about our ports and we talk about the routes, some persons may know, others may not know about just the importance of Jamaica along the transshipment route. And so, as you would have mentioned, being that hub for over 45 countries, or that transshipment port for over 45 countries is pretty significant.
Very significant.
And as you pen new deals, which I suspect you will,
Hopefully. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
As you pen new deals or even the current ones, there's just that need as we grow. So
certainly.
naturally, being prudent in the midst of it, your
Right.
shareholders will
I know.
will
Oh,
appreciate
believe
that.
me, I know.
Will appreciate that. And the project manager in me
Right.
is also thinking, oh wow, double budget.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
let's just let's just
Let's
rewind
value
that a
engineer.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's rework that. So thank you for that update. And
Certainly.
just the transparency there
Right.
is valuable. Another thing you would have mentioned is mergers and
Right.
acquisitions. So anything there that you'd
Cargo handlers.
be,
Remember,
be able to share?
27%.
Right, and the opportunity to go to
and
40.
the opportunity to go to 40.
Fantastic. I love what you're saying.
Yes.
I love what you're saying. And then you would have also mentioned diversification of revenue streams and the possibility of doing some, what was it? What was the term you
Kitting.
used? Right,
Right.
kitting.
So that's our logistics business. As I said, the issue there is just that we need more warehouse solution. And that's where we believe Tinspan,
Right.
the lands at Tinspan will come in. Well, we really need more physical space. What we've been doing, much of our capital has been put back in the business for equipment. We're buying 6 huge reach stackers to perform our operation. We bought crane last year. But a big part of the capital spend is just land acquisition, expanding the boundaries of the terminal. We're taking on buildings that are on the terminal to relocate. If you go on the terminal today, you will see a buzz of activity, of construction activity taking place. This year, we believe, will be a very pivotal year for capital injection, that in another 12 to 18 months, it will be a completely new physical infrastructure of Kingston Wharves that is best in class. You would recall that 18 months ago, we spent $30 million US in refurbishing a berth.
Yes.
That has now gone to $45 million US. So we're putting the capital investment backing the business to ensure that this business is sustainable. So while we're a private company, we see ourselves as the engine of growth for the country.
Right.
80% of trade is done by sea. And for an island nation like Jamaica, it's important that you have a well-invested, efficiently run port.
Yes.
And that's what we're doing.
Thank you so much for that. I do appreciate you bringing it together in that way and bringing it back to the nation.
Right.
Because one thing we know for sure is that as the island nation, we do need that efficiency, and people feel it. We feel it in many different ways, from our food to the luxury and leisure items, right? We feel it when there is inefficiency anywhere along the line. And in today's world, we've become accustomed to quick and efficient.
Exactly.
So you have a huge responsibility on your shoulders as KW, as a group. And we thank you for the work that you continue to do each day. So at this point, I'd like to give you an opportunity to speak directly to your shareholders, telling them what you want them to know at this time.
First of all, I want to say thank you for your continued commitment in Kingston Wharves, for the shared vision that we have for this, primarily Jamaican-owned company that has been around for 8 years. Of that $3.57, $3.6 billion in profit, to last year we gave $1 billion to our shareholders. And it's our commitment. Can it be more? Should it be more? Of course it could be. But what I want our shareholders to do is to continue to come with us on this journey of ensuring that we balance dividend payment with reinvesting capital in this business to ensure that it's very robust, that it is sustainable, so that your grandchildren and mine can benefit from the excellent work of Kingston Wharves and the profit position. Thank you. I know we're going to have a conversation at the AGM coming up about your dividend, but I want to tell you that of 3.6, 1 billion has already been paid out to you. But we'll have that conversation. Thank you for your continued commitment and your strong belief in the management team here, and in fact, the entire staff that I do have the wonderful privilege and honor of leading.
Thank you so much, Mr. Williams. It was a pleasure speaking with you.
It was same for me. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. And thank you to our audience for staying with us and hearing what it is that Kingston Wharves is doing and what Mr. Williams is leading the charge for as we go into yet another year. We thank you for your time, and we want to officially also thank Jace Mary Media for sponsoring this episode.